Hi, so it's good to see you again. This time we are going to learn IELTS Writing Task 1, describing a pie chart or pie charts. I'm going to give you step-by-step instruction to get score band 9, and it's super easy and something you must learn. In this lesson, you will learn a couple of things. Number one is an example of a pie chart question. Number two is a band 9 score answer structure. Number three is to write an ideal answer in each paragraph. Number four is some useful vocabulary. This question, writing task 1, describing pie charts, might look like, as you can see here on the left, it's the pie charts, and then you can see on the right, this is the question card. Okay, let us study the question first carefully. This is the question. The two pie charts below show the percentages of industry sectors' contribution to the economy of Japan in 2000 and 2015. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. And let's take a look at the chart or the pie charts. There are two pie charts, and now on the left and on the right, and this is the title, Contribution to the Economy of Japan by Sector. This is the data of the year 2000, and then you can see there are some slices of the pie or the sectors. In this case, we have government, agriculture, construction, manufacturing, transportation and logistics, healthcare and education, finance and business, leisure and hospitality. And on the right, we have the other pie chart containing similar data taken from the year 2015. So we have government, and also we have the other sectors, exactly the same. Okay, when you have familiarized yourself with the chart and the question, let us start with the answer. This is the structure of task 1 answer. So we have 4 paragraphs. Number 1 is introduction, and then we have the content. The content consists of 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 2 is overview. Paragraph 3 is specific detail 1, and paragraph 4 is specific detail 2. Following this structure of answer will result to band 9 score. First paragraph, the introduction. In this paragraph, introduce the chart in 1 or 2 sentences. Second paragraph, which is the overview. In this overview paragraph, describe some general trends and features of the chart. Paragraphs 3 and 4 write about specific points of the chart in 2 or 3 separate paragraphs. Normally, I write only 2 paragraphs instead of 3. Remember that the purpose of IELTS Writing Task 1 is to clearly describe the supplied information. It is not to express your personal opinion. So never write any conclusion in Task 1. Now you understand the strategy. Let's start composing our band 9 answer. Here we go with the introduction paragraph. For this paragraph, just write 1 or 2 sentences, and the easiest step is to paraphrase the question. So you should mention 2 items in the introduction. Number 1 is what the charts show. Number 2 is what period of time. That's it. Okay, so now let's take a look at the sample answer. Both pie charts illustrate how different industry sectors contributed to the economy of Japan in terms of percentages in the years 2000 and 2015. Number 1, keep the same name of the chart. Do not change it. In the question card, we see it's written pie charts. So let's write pie charts. Do not change it. If it's bar chart, we write bar chart. If it's line graph, we write line graph. If it's pie charts, we write pie charts. And then we have the quantity, the 2 pie charts, and then I rephrase into both, meaning the same. So I changed the word the 2 into both. The next one is we see there is a verb show in the question, and then I changed it into illustrate. So verbs can be freely paraphrased. So there are so many verbs that we can use interchangeably. We have show, illustrate, present, display, designate, represent, etc. Alright, the next one is we go with the next word, which is percentages. So we have percentages of industry sectors contribution to the economy of Japan. For the word percentages alone, I change it into in terms of percentages. And then we have the word contribution, which is a noun. Then I paraphrase, I change this noun contribution into verb contribute. And in this case, I put additional word how. So I paraphrase this part of the sentence. How different industry sectors contributed to the economy of Japan in terms of percentages. It sounds good, right? Remember, I put an additional word how, and then I change the noun into a verb. And of course, in this case, we need the subject, and the subject is different industry sectors. And then here, I change the word contribute into contributed. Please note, we use past tense in this case because this is the data of the years 2000 and 2015. So it's already in the past. That's why I put contributed. The next one is the period of time. So it's written in 2000 and 2015, right, according to the data available. And then I change it into in the years 2000 and 2015. If we say in 2000, it means in the year 2000. If it's in 2000 and 2015, of course, it means in the years 2000 and 2015. And that's what I write in the paragraph. That's it. That's all for the introduction. It is clear and specific. It tells what the graph shows and what period of time. So introduction is done. We go ahead with the next paragraph, which is the overview. And you must provide the overview to achieve a 6-band score or higher for task 1. So it's a must. So we need to put overview paragraph if we want to get a high score. In the overview paragraph, just describe major trends on the chart. Ideally, take 2 to 4 key points to describe, not too many. And do not write numbers, percentages, or dates in the overview paragraph. So don't write details yet. So please note, the overview paragraph should contain only general information, no detail, please. In fact, there are many ways to find key features from the chart. Number 1, for example, search for the biggest and smallest slices, the biggest and smallest sectors. Number 2, find which slices which become smaller, or slices which become bigger, and slices which do not change. Both options are good, but we have to choose one because overview paragraph must be short. Also, we have to limit number of words in our answer. And in this case, I choose 1 to search for the biggest and smallest slices. Right, let's take a look. This is the year 2000. And then we see what is the largest slice. Now let's learn. Here we go. The largest slice is agriculture, which is 24%. So let's take note there. In 2000, the largest is agriculture. And what is the smallest slice? It's there, which is the construction, which is only 3%. Let's take note, smallest is construction sector. Right, and now let's take a look at the chart of the year 2015. Same questions. What's the largest slice? And we see 17%. It is healthcare and education. And we take note over there, the largest, healthcare and education. What is the smallest slice? Over there is only 8%, finance and business. Okay, we take note there, smallest, finance and business. It's done. Now we have this data. Okay. Now let's get started. But beforehand, to avoid repetition, use synonyms for repeated words. So we need to use variation of words. For example, if we have what's the smallest sector, you can use, or we can say, contributed the least to the economy. Or we can say, gave the lowest contribution, or made the smallest part of the chart, or was the least significant part of the economy. All of them mean the same. And for example, for the largest sector, it is written was the largest sector. You can say contributed the most to the economy, or gave the highest contribution, made the biggest part of the chart, and the last one was the most significant part of the economy. all of these expressions are just the same. We can use alternatively as a variation. Let's start with the paragraph. Overall, at the beginning of the period, construction contributed the least to the economy of Japan, while agriculture was the most significant economic sector. In comparison, at the end of the period, healthcare and education became the largest economic segment, and the lowest contribution was made by finance, business, and other services. Start the paragraph with the word overall because it's overview. And then we write at the beginning of the period, which is the year 2000. And then we have the data over there. In the year 2000, the largest is agriculture, the smallest is construction. So we write first with construction. Construction, which is the smallest. So we can write construction contributed the least to the economy of Japan. And then we have the largest sector, which is agriculture. So we can write agriculture was the most significant economic sector. And then I put a word connector while. And the word while here functions as a conjunction or connector to introduce a contrast between two clauses or ideas. In this case, because construction is the least, and then agriculture is the most. The next one, we have at the end of the period, which is 2015. Let's take a look at the data from 2015. And then we have healthcare and education as the largest sector. So we can write healthcare and education became the largest economic segment. Not sector, but segment, just the same. And then the smallest sector is finance and business. So we can write, and the lowest contribution was made by finance, business, and other services. And here I put the expression of in comparison. This phrase is very interesting. It is used to indicate a contrast or a comparison between 2000 and 2015, between the beginning of the period and the end of the period. Okay, the overview paragraph is now completed. Now it's done. Let's go ahead with the next paragraphs. Paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. Specific detail 1 and specific detail 2. Well, we can organize our specific details in various ways. What's important is that your writing must be logical. Ideally, there are 2 or 3 paragraphs with specific details. So we can write up to 3 paragraphs, but in this case, we will only write 2 paragraphs. So we can group the data based on the trend, like increasing sectors and decreasing sectors. So for paragraph 3, we describe the increasing sectors. And then for paragraph 4, we describe the decreasing sectors. And we'll see if there is a non-changing sector. So I put non-changing sectors here in this specific detail 2. All right, let's get started to write the third paragraph, which is the specific detail 1. So paragraph 1 here, specific detail 1 is the details about increasing sectors. And then later, the paragraph 2, we write details about decreasing sectors and non-changing sectors. And for specific detail, you must write numbers and percentages and include as many useful details as possible. Let's go ahead now. Identify which increasing sectors and which decreasing and non-changing sectors are. Let's analyze together. And then later we compare the slices from data 2000 versus 2015. First, we take a look at agriculture sector. Right, on the left is the year 2000 and on the right is the year 2015. First, it is 24% and later it becomes 14%, which means it is down. And also we check government from 12 to 9, which is also down. Leisure and hospitality from 17 to 14, also down. For the other sectors, we have construction, manufacturing, transportation and logistics, finance and business. If you compare the data from 2000 to 2015, all these sectors go up. And last but not least, for the last sector, which is healthcare and education, in the year 2000 it's 17%, in the year 2015 also 17%. So does not change. Okay, so we have this one going up, and going up, because we are all the data here, some go down, some go up, and some and one is the same. These are the sectors going up, and because for paragraph 3 or specific detail 1, we are going to write the increasing sectors. Now let's take a look. I put the mark over there in the chart, all with the upward arrows. Construction sector accounted for 3% of Japan's economy in 2000 and experienced a more than 3 times increase to 1/10 in 2015. Economic income from transportation and logistics was 14% in 2000 and had a slight growth of 2% in 2015. At the beginning of the period, manufacturing and finance and business made up 8% and 5% of Japan's economy respectively, and these figures rose to 12% and 8% in 2015. Alright, once more, now let's discuss all the components. Number 1, use different expressions when presenting the percentages. So we need to use a variety. In this case, first I write accounted for, and then the next one simply just I put to be there, which is was. Anyway, they are different. The next one I wrote made up. Okay, so 3 data written in 3 different expressions. Okay, and also if we describe the change in the percentage, Also, we need to use different vocabulary. In this case, experienced the more than 3 times increase to 1/10. Right, I have the word experienced there. And then had a slight growth of 2%. So simply had a growth. The next one, these figures rose to 12% and 8%. The word rose. Experienced, had, and then rose. For the word, this expression, experienced a more than 3 times increase to 1/10. Let's discuss about that a bit. So we have the construction sector, which is only 3%. And then I wrote 3 times increase because it increased into 10%. So 3 times 3% is 9%, which is almost 10%. And then I put 1/10, which means 10%, almost 10%, almost 1/10, just very good as a variation. Now let's get ready for specific detail 2, or the last paragraph, or paragraph 4, which is about decreasing or non-changing sectors. So this one is decreasing for the agriculture, and also government, leisure and hospitality, and healthcare and education remains the same. Okay, let's use this data. First sentence. Agriculture, which comprised almost a quarter of Japan's economy in 2000, fell to 14% in 2015. In 2000, economic outputs from government and leisure and hospitality sectors were at 12% and 17% respectively, and both decreased by 3% after 15-year period. In contrast, contribution from healthcare and education sector remained constant in both years at 17%. Okay, use different expressions when presenting the percentages. Here we have comprised about almost a quarter. Comprised. We know a quarter is 25%, and the data agriculture is 24%, so we can write almost 25% or almost a quarter. The next expression is simply just to be, were, or were at 12% and 17%. And then to describe the change in percentage, use different vocabulary. Over there I put fell to 14%, and then decreased by 3%. That's it. So everything is done. This is the full or complete answer might look like. The first paragraph, this is the introduction. Second paragraph, which is the overview. Third paragraph is the specific detail 1. And then the last paragraph is the specific detail 2. Complete. First paragraph, we write in present tense. That's why we have the word illustrate. Both pie charts illustrate, not illustrated, but illustrate. And then for the second paragraph, third paragraph, fourth paragraph, we write in past tense, because everything already happened in the past, happening in the year 2000 and 2015. So take a look, get all these words: contributed, was, became, was. Experienced, was, had, made up, rose. Comprised, fell, were, decreased, remained. Please take note for this word, contributed, although it's in the introduction paragraph. We have to put there in past tense, contributed, because this one is about the data, how different industry sectors contributed in the years 2000 and 2015. So that's why we need to write that in past tense. Okay, friends, this is the complete answer might look like. Very good. And total words is 204 words. We know that the minimum is 150 words. Okay, if this is good for you, don't forget to subscribe.